4 months had passed since Carter vanished. To the outside world, Merrow Creek didn't exist. No name, no roads, no stories, only silence. But for Eva Breyer, a 17-year-old girl from Arizona, Merrow Creek came every night in her sleep. Same fog. Same people with empty smiles. Same voice whispering in her dreams. You've already been here. You just forgot. When Eva's parents took a detour on their summer road trip, they stopped at a diner off Route 16. There was no sign. No GPS signal. No reason for that town to be there. But Eva recognized it the moment they passed, the clock tower stuck at 6 p.m. "Mom," she whispered, "we need to leave." "Don't be silly," her mother smiled. "It's just a quiet little place." They booked room 4 at the Hollow Pine Motel. That night, Eva didn't sleep. She heard scratching inside the mattress. Not under it, inside it. And when she looked in the mirror, her reflection blinked twice. The next morning, she met Father Lorne, a disillusioned priest on a pilgrimage after losing his congregation to a fire that spared only him. He wasn't shocked to find himself in Merrow Creek. "I've dreamed of this place since the fire," he said. "Did you see the thing in the woods?" "No," he replied softly. "It saw me." At 3:03 a.m., Eva woke to silence. Then a soft melody, like a music box. It came from under the floorboards. She lifted the rug. There was no trap door, just dirt. But something pulsed beneath it, like a heartbeat. And she knew. The town wasn't built here. It grew here. Eva couldn't sleep after the heartbeat. The next morning, she returned to the motel floor and pressed her ear to the dirt. It was still beating. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Like it was alive. She went to the only place that felt familiar from her dreams, the church. Its windows were blacked out with soot. No cross, no altar. But someone was inside. Father Lorne, praying at a wall of photographs. Old, torn, burned. Men, women, children. None of them smiling. Some had black X's over their faces. "Who are they?" Eva asked. "Everyone who stayed too long," he said. "Everyone who listened to the wrong voices." "What voices?" Lauren opened a trapdoor behind the pulpit. Stairs led down. You should see it. Beneath the church was a crypt, not made of stone, of wood, warped by moisture and time. And below the wooden planks, a pile of bones. Thousands. All small. All children. "No one remembers how long the town's been here," Lauren said. "But it was founded on something hungry. Why are we here? Some of us were called, others were traded." Traded? By someone who wanted out. There's always a price. That night, Eva opened her motel window to let in air. Instead, she let in a whisper. "Come see us, Eva. You left something behind." "Under the motel." She slammed the window shut. The heartbeat grew louder. And in the mirror, her reflection held something. A key. Rusty, dripping. She blinked. The mirror was normal. But on the nightstand, the key was real. And attached to it, a tag. Room 0. A room that didn't exist. The key felt warm in Eva's hand. It pulsed faintly, like it had a heartbeat of its own. Room 0 didn't exist on the map of the motel. But she walked past room 6. Room 7, then the ice machine. And there, where the wall should have ended, was a narrow hallway she hadn't noticed before. Dark, uneven. Breathing. At the end, room 0. The key slid into the lock with no resistance. The door creaked open. Inside, the room was impossibly large. Far bigger than the outside walls could ever contain. There were mirrors. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Standing, hanging, floating. Each one showed a different version of her. Eva in the motel. Eva as a child. Eva with black eyes. Eva burning. "What is this?" she whispered. A voice replied, "Memory is a prison, and you were the one who locked the door." In the center of the room was a chair, old, wooden, strapped. On it sat a girl, Eva, but younger, eyes wide, lips stitched shut. She raised a hand, trembling. In her palm, a tooth. Eva stepped forward, but behind her, the door slammed shut. The mirrors began to shiver. One by one, they showed other people now. Lena, Carter, Ellie, the priest. People from the first season. All distorted, all screaming silently. And then, the mirrors shattered. She woke up in her bed, sweating, screaming, clutching the tooth. And outside the window? Room 0 was gone. But something stood where the hallway had been. Something wearing her face. Eva didn't leave the motel for 2 days. She didn't eat, didn't sleep. The tooth sat on the nightstand, still slick with blood, though no blood had ever touched it. Every time she blinked, she saw herself, the stitched-lipped version from Room 0, just standing in mirrors, reflections, puddles. Watching. Waiting. Father Lorne came for her. His hand was bandaged. "I saw her too," he said, "but I don't know if it was her or me. What is this place?" Eva asked. "A collector," Lorne whispered. "It gathers stories, and it keeps the ones who try to forget." "Why me?" "Because you remember things no one should." They went to the woods. Lorne said he'd found a door hidden among the roots of an old dead tree. Said it called to him in dreams. They found it half buried, made of bone, sewn together with hair. It pulsed when Eva touched it. "It wants me to open it," she said. "Then don't," said Lorne, stepping back. But it was too late. The door fell open. Inside was not earth, but air, cold and humming. Like a dying machine, they stepped through. They weren't underground anymore. They were beneath time. The place was made of memories. Walls made of old photographs, floors that whispered names. Lena's laughter echoed from somewhere. Then Ellie's. Then Eva's own. They followed the sound and found a well. At the bottom, dozens of people, all repeating the same sentence over and over. "I used to be real. I used to be real. I used to." Father Lorne leaned too close, and something pulled him in. Eva screamed. His rosary beads scattered. Then silence. She turned to run, and there, in front of her, stood herself again, stitched mouth. But this time she spoke. The stitches moved like lips, without breaking. "You were never supposed to come back." Eva ran. The stitched-mouthed version of herself followed, but not by foot. It moved like a ripple, shifting between shadows, slipping through walls, appearing ahead instead of behind. "You don't belong here," it whispered. "But I do." She climbed out of the memory tunnels, back into the motel. But everything had changed. The town was wrong now. The sky was black at noon. The clocks ticked backward. People stood still in the streets, smiling but unmoving, like puppets waiting for a cue. And above the town square hung a new sign. "What you forget, we keep." Eva found Father Lorne's rosary beads in her pocket. She didn't remember picking them up. She didn't remember much of anything now. Not her parents' faces, not her school, not her name, except a single word carved into her arm with fading ink. Eva. She went back to Room 0. It was open this time. Inside, a mirror with no reflection. Only a message written in fog. "You may leave, but the town will remember." She stepped forward, and behind her, the stitched version whispered, "One must stay." Eva turned. "Then take the version that tried to forget." They stared at each other, and then merged. She woke up in a hospital bed. Sunlight, clean sheets, beeping monitors. The nurse smiled. You're lucky. Hikers found you near an abandoned stretch of forest. Where am I? Eva asked. A town called Edgewick. No one lives there anymore, just dust and old signs. Eva left the hospital 2 days later. But the signs were still there. In puddles. In windows. In mirrors. They didn't reflect her anymore. They showed room 0. But she kept walking. Because sometimes, survival isn't about escape. It's about remembering who you are, even if the town never forgets.